So, we've discussed how MPs and ministers introduced bills. How about committees? With the permission of the National Assembly, Section 73 of the Constitution and Rule 268 of the National Assembly also provide that committees can introduce bills into Parliament. To obtain permission from the House, Rule 273 of the National Assembly requires a committee intending to introduce a bill to table a memorandum setting out the particulars of the proposed law. However, there have been cases where the National Assembly has instructed a committee to introduce a bill, effectively granting that committee permission under this rule. If the House gives permission to a committee to introduce a bill, that committee must prepare the bill and consult the joint tagging mechanism for advice on its classification. We'll discuss the joint tagging mechanism in more detail in the next lesson, where we will cover how bills are classified for processing. In addition, the Rules of Parliament require a committee to introduce a bill if prior notice of its introduction has been given in the Government Gazette, along with an invitation to interested persons to submit written representations. Furthermore, the committee must give the public at least 3 weeks to make submissions. This process also ensures public participation, even if it is a committee that is drafting the bill. The committee must also discuss with the relevant government department and, in view of any comments received, adjust the draft law before introducing it into Parliament. For the committee to introduce the bill in the National Assembly, it must submit both a copy of the bill and a memorandum to the Speaker of the National Assembly. This memorandum must, amongst other things, explain the purpose of the bill, provide an account of the expected financial implications to the state, and include a list of all the people who have been consulted. The memorandum must also contain a legal opinion and certification by the parliamentary legal advisors on the proposed classification of the bill and whether it complies with the Constitution and drafting conventions. It is important to remember that a draft law initiated and introduced by a committee does not have what is called a first reading. Once it is introduced, it has to be placed directly on Parliament's order paper for a second reading, unless the bill is referred to a joint committee. Whether it's a department, a government ministry, an individual member of Parliament, or a committee that initiates or drafts a bill, public participation is required in the formation of every draft law. This ensures that we as citizens have a say in the early development and formulation of laws that govern our lives. By being more actively involved, we can help create laws that reflect our needs, our values, and our priorities, leading to a more inclusive and democratic society.